All right, bet.
Testing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tap In with Tristan. We got another episode of Fit Lab 15. We got an excellent student athlete here. Real excited for this show. And I think you guys are going to be real excited for this. We got a treat. So again, I don't want to hold y'all too long. We're just going to dive right into this segment. We got Mr. Jalen Catalon. Talk to him.
What's going on? Hope everybody doing good. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your time, man. So Jalen, man, tell the people a little bit about yourself, man. What sport we playing, what school, where did we grow up, and then we'll talk a little bit about, your early years.
Most definitely. From Mansfield, Texas. I mean, technically I was born in Arlington, but I grew up around this area my whole life. Family's from Louisiana, little small town in Maurice, Lafayette area. So they're Louisiana, so I kind of got that Louisiana bloodline too with me a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of like my story with that. And then right now I play football at the University of Arkansas, along with my brother, who's a redshirt junior. He's there now too, Jalen Catalon. He plays there, so it's always good to have blood with you at college, because sometimes it's good to always have that that bond and someone that's been through it with you from the very get-go.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little about that, man. We're playing SEC football, man. When does this even start? Was football a part of your childhood? What did that look like? What sports were we playing?
My whole life, I played all three. I played football, basketball, baseball. My dad always thought I was gonna be a baseball player. My mom always thought I was actually gonna be a basketball player. And I think I was probably the only one that had a vision of football. And I think that vision really stuck with me probably in 8th grade. So once 8th grade hit, I think I knew kind of what I wanted to do. So I kind of put my focus on football. I still did all three all the way up to about junior year. Plan on doing just football and baseball my senior year, but unfortunately I got hurt, so I couldn't do that. But yeah, I did all those three sports, and that's something that I'm glad I did, because I got knowledge in every sport. I think it helped me progress as an athlete, because I was able to work different movements and gain different knowledge that helped me from one sport to another, or one movement to another movement in a different sport. So definitely glad I did all three and I was active the way I was.
So you would recommend to some of the young athletes and even parents that if you have the ability to even play multiple sports at a young age?
Yeah, I always say just do as much as you can. I think everybody has the opportunity to do so much, so why limit yourself? Just go explore out there and just give something a shot, because you never know what you're good at. And that's kind of what my mindset was. And honestly, it was good for me, because it kept me away from everything else that could have been bad, kept me out of the house, kept me away from, people that maybe I shouldn't be around, so it kept me humble, and it kept me, occupied, which is something that I grew to love to do, which is sports in general. And of course, football is something that I kind of grew to love and be around.
Positive outlet, am I right?
Say it again.
A positive outlet. You had something positive. So sports was a positive outlet for you, correct?
Yeah, sports was a really good positive. It's a positive outlet, most definitely. It kind of helped me, and then also create relationships that you build. I think that's the main thing too, because I always say sports is important, but I think the relationships you build out of it was really the factor of it all. Getting to know people from a different standpoint, from a trainer standpoint to a teammate to a coach, that's where you kind of can gain some family in a way too, that you can kind of count on people. So it's definitely, it has its factors, most definitely, a lot of factors.
I appreciate you saying that, but I think that's major, man. Is those relationships and bonds that are being built, the networking opportunities that come with it as you get older. So you said you locked in on football, man. What was inside of you as holding that vision where the family thought you were going to play a couple of other sports? What made football be the one? And then we're going to talk a little bit about this football career, but what made you pick that one?
I honestly, I think for me, it was just, it's that love where when you just touch something and you instantly fall in love with it. It was just something with football where I was always attracted to it. I always wanted to be around it. Whether even when I was playing baseball, I was watching football. When I was playing basketball, I was somehow watching football. So I just knew that it was something that I loved, and I think my parents started to gain or see my love for it. So they kind of invested in me with it. And in high school, I was blessed to start getting offers to go play D1 ball. So I think that's when I realized that, I think football is going to be my route. And so I kind of just played the cards with that, and everything's worked out how it is right now. But yeah, football's definitely been something that I love. I think ever since I was in diapers, I always loved playing 3 sports, but it was just something about football that always had that extra notch above all 3.
So yeah, so you ran with that, and then I think now the family is like, okay, I see what it is. Tell me a little bit about the recruitment process, and then how do you handle that along with being the student part of the athlete? Because that's a package deal in itself. What kind of student were you, man? How was you balancing all of these things?
So I took school really seriously. I relate school to, honestly, my senior year when I got hurt. I became just a student. You know what I'm saying? I was, training, rehabbing, getting back, but at the end of the day, I didn't have sports, so all I had was school, and I maintained like a 3.5. So I just took my emphasis. I challenged myself to do well in the classroom, even though sports wasn't a factor in my life right now for me being gone and injured. But I always say school, I like to do, if you love something, you're going to do what it takes to make sure you're available and you're good to play your sport in the best mind state. So I always say, when you're ahead of school and you're on top of things, it carries over onto the field. I always say, I always heard that, like, what you do, one thing is what you do in everything. So if you slack here, you're going to slack here. So I always try to stay on top of everything on every aspect, because that's the type of person you're going to be. But it's very important to be a student first before you're an athlete, because there's no athlete without the student. Because, to be an athlete, you got to be in school, and that's just the way it is. But going to the recruitment process,
Yep.
I just say enjoy it. Like,
Okay.
if you get the opportunity to be a D1 player, whether it's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, it doesn't matter what level you're at. Enjoy the process. It's a blessing that someone will be able to pay for your school in some shape or form. So always take advantage of that and don't lose sight of that. I think everybody gets caught up with wanting to play D1 ball, and I'm not saying don't aspire for that, but in reality, just not everyone can play D1. I'm just blessed I was able to, but I always say that just be blessed to know that college wants you, and never lose sight of that. That's what I would say to anybody trying to figure that out right now.
That's beautiful, bro. Like that's great free game. I think that can pull a lot of weight off the shoulders of some of these young individuals and even their parents, because they feel like if they don't hit that D1, then they fail. Everybody has a different lane. Everybody has
Most definitely.
and gift, and you can still have a great opportunity at different levels. So thank you for sharing that. What made you narrow it down to a school like Arkansas, especially as you were star-studded in high school, and then you factor in that injury? How did we come up with Arkansas?
So during the time I had, Chad Morris was the coach, and we had a good relationship. And I knew that me going to Arkansas in a way would be an opportunity for me and my brother to be at the same level. We always dreamed of playing D1 ball together, and I knew that I could make that happen. With us being me going to Arkansas was the best opportunity for us. So made it happen, and look where we are now. But besides that, though, Arkansas was just a good environment, and it's a good place where I felt like I can grow and put my best foot forward and show everybody what I could do. I think a lot of people go through the recruitment process and just enjoy the scenery, but take out. When I do my recruitment process, I took out that scenery, because it's like recruiting. You're recruiting. You're trying to show them a good time because you want to come to your school. So that's just the business of it. But I always take that out of it. I just ask myself, what if football wasn't here, would I be happy? And I knew Arkansas was that place that I felt like if football was gone, I would still be around a great environment and be in a great place where I can succeed in every aspect. So that's kind of how I looked at it. And along with knowing that me and my brother could go and do our thing, that's definitely something that factored in too. But yes, I'm blessed that I chose Arkansas, and I don't regret it one bit.
Excellent info, bro. Excellent info. So now, dude, you're in the SEC. You're in the SEC. Can you still hear me? We good?
Yeah.
You're in the SEC, man, playing with the best conference in the country, you were there. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in uniform. We got this COVID situation going on, man. Pandemic and everything, man. Talk to me. What's on your mind going into this year? And then how do we navigate through that?
Yeah, COVID was a tough scenario for everybody. I felt heartbreaking, especially when it just happened and sports had to be shut down for basketball. They were just getting to a tournament, gymnastics, baseball, soccer, sports like that. Because, as athletes, we bust our tails, for those moments to play and for that to be taken away. It's definitely a tough scenario. But I think it was just a blessing, honestly. I think, especially for us, our team in Arkansas, like we was just blessed that we were able to play because there was always talks about like not playing at all, like they weren't going to play the season. But then they factored in some protocols for us to play. So we just took it as, look, we're just blessed to play the game that we love. It doesn't matter what the scenery is or what the circumstances are. Just give us a ball to line up and let us play the game we love. So that's how we kind of took our mindset, and it definitely helped us out.
And you did that. You balled out, man. Now, you really balled out. You put yourself in a position to be mentioned with some of the top players in the country at your position. So congratulations on that.
For sure, appreciate it.
Congratulations on that. That's not a small feat. But I know you. I know. I watched your work ethic. I've been fortunate enough to work with family and everything like that. So it's something that you put time into. Was this something that you expected to play this well? And set yourself up for even years to come.
Most definitely. It's not even I'm cocky. I'm always humble to keep going better. I always say the moment you get satisfied. Yeah, the moment you get satisfied is the moment that you'll fall or someone will gain over you. So I'm always looking to get better at something. There's always something everybody can get better at. But I knew how hard I worked before the season, so I knew that I was ready for whatever. And I knew that I was, honestly, and this is me being confident, I knew that I was going to go in. I had the mindset that I had to ball out. I had to go and do my thing because I felt like I was misplaced or forgotten about, so I wanted myself back on the map. So that's why I grinded for and worked for and, just with trusting in God, it worked out.
You state your claim. So let's go back just a little bit and tie in some things. You mentioned you had an injury in high school, right? And you became a student. How important is, sports performance training, whether with your school or a place like Fit Lab? How important is that for a young athlete? And do you recommend to a parent or even a young up and coming athlete to get involved with those types of things when it's in the right situation?
Yeah, I always say trust the person that you're with, first of all. So go to somebody that has a good resume and that you trust. And from there, just keep an open mind and have a positive mindset. Like for me, there was definitely some negative thoughts when I first got into it because it's scary because when you get the ACL injuries, you just don't know how you're going to be. You're not 100% positive you can come out and be the best you can be. It's just all mindset. That's all it is. So I learned that. And as the process went on, I started gaining confidence back. And I think it was my support system too. That's another thing. Just be around a good support system, You have a circle where somebody's going to lift you up during that time because you're going to need it. And, like I said, God forbid no one gets hurt. But if it does happen, you got to have a good support system to help you get back. And that's what I had that helped me keep going. I had a great rehab trainer. Her name was Devin, who helped me out a lot, got me back right. And honestly, I think I came out better than I ever was.
That's beautiful, boss man. Confidence. You mentioned confidence. That's a big word. That's a huge word in the sports world. How do we keep that? Did you find yourself up and down throughout your career, or do you stay rock solid with that? And if so, how do we keep that?
I think confidence is based off your preparation. If you prepare the right way, if you prepare yourself for something, you'll be confident going in. I always say you play better when you're confident. When you're confident, no matter if you're playing football, baseball, basketball, where you're running track, any sport, if you're confident in what you do and you trust your craft and everything you've done to build up to that moment of the game or the race or whatever it is, you're ready for whatever. So that's kind of how I was. I prepared so well. Whether for me, it was making sure that I lived right off the field, that I was doing my schoolwork, that I watched film, that I got any extra work, took care of my body. So I just did all the little things that led up to the big thing, which is their game, right, whatever it is. So yeah, confidence is a big thing, but it starts with just your preparation. You know, if you prepare right, then yeah, you're gonna be confident because it's like a test. You know, if you study for a test, really good, and you're gonna come in prepared because you already know, you know it's gonna be on, and you confident you're gonna do your thing on it. So that's definitely something that I would say confidence. Before you can have confidence, you gotta have preparation.
Beautiful, bro. Like I mean, you hitting the nail on the head. I couldn't have said it better myself. Listen, dude, we can talk forever, man, because you got a lot of information, very knowledgeable young man, very well spoken, and a big time athlete. So I just want to say thank you, man, for allowing us to have some time with you, first of all.
Most definitely, no problem.
I want to say again, congratulations, man. We celebrate you here at Fit Lab. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the journey, even for just little increments of it. And we look forward to watching, this up and coming season in the next chapter that you have, not just on the field, but how you conduct yourself off the field, man. You're a great example of what a student athlete should look like. So we appreciate you, boss, man.
Most definitely appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. Until next time, before we go, just make sure y'all hit the subscription button, tap in with Tristan, click the notification bell. So when we do put up some of this beautiful content, you're alerted. And let's keep building this beautiful platform. So thank you for sharing it with us, man. Until next time, much love.
Tap in.
All right, right on.